BJ and PK, the birds are chirping. That must mean that Bob Casper is on the gravy train in Augusta, Georgia. How's it going, Bob?
You know, can't complain, that's for sure. It's amazing being here, and it's good to have you back in studio.
Well, I'm not quite in studio, but, studio is it's a very mobile term these days, Bob.
That is the truth. Yes, it is.
Well, before we get to the draft, which I know is the premier attraction today, I'm curious if they've done anything to the course this year. Any changes, any differences, or is it same old, run it back again?
Well, in listening to Rory McIlroy, there's 4 greens that have been redone. One of them, a couple of them probably because of the hurricane that came through. The 16th green had to be redone. Three trees fell on that green. So that one had to be redone. But according to everything that we've heard, it's back to what the original specs are, and you can't even tell. The first green was some stuff was done there to maybe possibly smooth it out a little bit. We're going to go out and look a little bit more today at those. I think maybe 15 a little bit. I can't remember which one was the other 8 maybe. But then the other thing is that because of the hurricane, trees fell and they lost a bunch of trees on the property. It's not something that if you were coming here the first time that you would notice, but it has opened up some viewing of the property, like up by the clubhouse, looking down number 10 towards and number 18 towards the lower part of the property, and you can see way down there and see part of Augusta Country Club, which borders Augusta National. So some trees came down between the first hole and the 9th hole coming back to the clubhouse. But everything is beautiful, and the golf course is going to be great.
We try to pick who we think is going to win, right? That's the whole point of it. And, you can bet on it. There's odds and all this stuff. I was talking with Brian the other day about trying to figure out what I think of the guys who are on LIV, because, they talk about how competition breeds competition and makes everybody better. Yeah. And you see that on the PGA Tour from week to week, right? And we have a familiarity with the PGA Tour once they get to Hawaii in January and the Kapalua and then over at Honolulu and then back. We know the lineup and we can see it. But the LIV, it's basically like exhibition golf. So I'm wondering, do you think that takes a little bit of the luster off those guys? Because it doesn't seem like, and maybe I'm totally off base on this, that they're competing at the level that the PGA Tour guys are competing and trying to win. You see where I'm going with that?
Yes. Yeah. The interesting thing is, PK, that a lot of the events that they play, we don't even know the golf courses that they play. Yeah, we know last week's event was at Doral in Miami. And that used to be a PGA Tour event venue for a long time. But other than that, a lot of the golf courses that they're playing, we don't even know about. We don't even know how they're what the shape of the course is like, or how they set the golf course up, or anything. Until this year, we didn't even have any type of television programming. But now, you've got Fox and FS1 and FS2. PGA Tour last week had 1.7 or 1.8 million followers on Sunday. They had 400,000. It's not, you just don't see them, and they're playing against the same guys all the time. And BT and I were talking about this earlier in the year. How many guys are there on LIV that you would actually want to come back and play the PGA Tour, the top guys? And there might be a handful, maybe 10 if you're lucky, and the same 50 guys are playing every week. And the product's not the players anyway. The product is golf. And unfortunately, it takes away from that. Whereas the PGA Tour, you constantly have this turnover of new guys coming in and moving up and honing their craft and honing their skills to be able to make it to that top echelon of players. I mean, Ludwig Oberg, who finished second here last year, a year and a half ago, when he finished second last year, he'd never played a major before. And a year prior, he was still in college at Texas Tech, and yet now he is one of the top players in the world, one of the elite players in the world, because he was able to hone his craft and win on the European Tour, win on the PGA Tour, contend in majors, and win a signature event this year. It's amazing to see what he's done. But the same thing happened with Scotty Scheffler. He goes on the Korn Ferry Tour, wins out there, gets his PGA Tour card, takes a year and a half before he wins, gets the right caddy on the bag, Ted Scott, and immediately he went berserk, and he's number one in the world now. So that ability to hone your craft and become better because you're forced to with all of the players that you have on the PGA Tour, whereas on Live Golf, like you said, PK, there's only 48 guys, 50 guys or something like that, and you're playing against the same guys all the time, and you've been given a boatload of money, and you really don't have to hone your craft.
Okay, last thing here before we get to the draft. How many of those guys, because contracts are about to come up, how many of those top 5 or 10 guys do you think are really going to jump back to the PGA Tour?
Well, you're hearing a lot of grumblings. You're hearing a lot, Brooks Koepka, John Rahm. I don't know about Bryson, but you're hearing a lot of grumblings from those guys saying that I made the wrong choice, and so it'll be interesting to see what happens with each one of them, and if they do come back, those contracts will be coming up the end of 2026. So they're kind of tied in, but if the tour and the PIF, the Public Investment Fund from Saudi Arabia, can get something worked out, then we'll see how they're integrated back in. But as of right now, the tour has the leverage at the moment because of what's happening with the players and them possibly having their contracts coming up and wanting to come back, and also with the PIF saying that they're reducing their amount of cash flow out. If the guys do redo contracts on Live and with PIF, those contracts are going to be for a lot less money than they were before.
All right, let's get to the draft, and it is the start of the year, so any changes we want to make here? Do we still want to do the regional picks? Do we want to do people outside the top 25? We got something new. What do we think? And we started with the basic 3-round draft.
Yeah. I'm good with whatever.
All right. PK, you want to tweak anything?
No, whatever you guys think. I mean,
You're going to
fair.
pick the win. You're going to pick the winner and strut.
Well, I don't know that I am, but odds are I know more than you two guys combined, so it's probably going to be slant in my favor either way.
So you still got Rahm, huh, PK?
Whatever you want, Bob.
Bob, this is why you got Xander Schauffele. I got Tony Finau. Xander's from San Diego, like Bob. Tony Finau went to the same high school as one of our kids. John Rahm is from Arizona, like PK. That's how we divvied it up. Now, we can get rid of that if you want. What are we doing? Keeping it or
good.
losing it?
I like that.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, Schauffele won 2
with,
majors last year.
You go with the passive aggressive. Do you still have Rahm, and then you want to keep it? Come on, Bob. Come on, man.
No, I was throwing a barb there. That's
okay. That was just for fun.
Yeah,
That's what you do, Bob. Yeah, I know you do. You come on and you try to insult me. I got it.
That's what I do.
I'm quite familiar with you. Yeah. That's why, I would just prefer that Brian Taylor be on every day, but, I don't get my way.
Oh, listen to you.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice. Okay.
Just kidding.
All right. Come on, Tony. Let's go. Let's go, Tony Finau.
Okay.
I need a W. All
Let's go.
right, Bob, your draft. You get the first pick, unless we're changing that.
No.
Whatever.
No.
Okay, go, Bob. Who you got?
I am, just because I want him to win this week, I'm going to go Rory McIlroy.
It would mean
All
a lot.
right.
I want him to get the career Grand Slam.
That would be way cool. I would like to see that myself.
Yeah, that'd be really, really fun.
Well, I picked him twice, and I upset PK both times I did it because he wanted to pick him. But he's going to be my PK picked Dustin Johnson this every time he got the chance until he finally won. I'm going to go Ludwig Oberg.
Oh, so is this like Michael Jordan falling to the Bulls, and I take Scheffler?
Yeah, Scheffler
Okay.
if you want him.
Scheffler, if you want him. Oh, jeez. That was
pick.
like telling the Bulls, well, yeah, Jordan, if you want him.
All right. Well, you don't like to pick the
got-
big names. You don't like to pick the big names, PK. I thought you might pull a rabbit out of a hat here, and then pick a winner and say, yeah, I passed on Scheffler and I got the winner. We know how this works.
Yeah, but I like to do that with the last pick. You may remember a guy named Matthew Fitzpatrick.
Yeah. How's he done lately?
He got me a W, Bob. That's all that matters.
He did. He did. And Xander got me 2 last year.
He did.
Yeah.
Played very well.
Come on, Tony. Let's go, Tony. Come on, Tony.
Let's go,
right.
Tony.
Second round, Bob. Who you got?
I'm gonna go with Colin Morikawa.
Oh,
That's BT's
Bob,
pick.
dang it.
That's BT's pick for this week.
Yeah,
But
you did say that to me.
Colin's played some great golf here, and he was in the mix last year, so I'm going to go with Colin.
Man. Fine. All right, I'll take Justin Thomas.
JT, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Interesting with those guys. I always put Spieth and Justin Thomas. They're like the same dude to me. Same guy.
Really?
They're best friends,
Yeah.
man.
Right, and they had success early, and they're obviously elite level. But when you have success a little early, you expect that to continue. I think Tiger Woods has spoiled it in a lot of ways for us to be able to expect it. It hasn't come. They're still elite. They're still good picks. But you wonder, can they be last man standing on Sunday? I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
He's got 4
there.
top 10s this year, but he
Yeah.
hasn't
Oh,
broken
yeah.
through and won, to your point. He's played really good golf, but he hasn't won.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing. All right, I'll step outside and go live and go DeChambeau.
Ooh.
Bryson.
See, now that's a good pick, PK. Props to you. That's a good pick.
Okay.
Why is it a good pick? You don't like live guys. I thought you'd want him passed over.
It's not that I don't like live guys. It's that I didn't appreciate them saying, well, I can play less, spend more time with my family, and we can promote the game better and stuff like that. And that's all hogwash. They took the bag. They took the bag full of money, and they're playing and becoming irrelevant because of where they're at. Now, Bryson, Brooksy, Brooksy won the PGA Championship. Bryson won the U.S. Open. Awesome for them, and I appreciate their talent. I don't appreciate where they're playing golf on live, but I appreciate the guys and the players they are. So,
I think what he's saying, DJ, is hate the sin, love the sinner.
There you go. I like that.
All right, Bob. Third round. Who you got?
Okay, so are we going 4 rounds? Are we doing outside of top 25 in our fourth pick, or what are we doing?
We'll do whatever you want, Bob. It's your show.
It's not my show.
Well, it is when you come on.
There you go.
You're the guest.
We don't talk about anything else when you're on.
Okay. Let me look here real quick. I'm going to go. Got the top 5 down. You did Justin Thomas, JT. Holy JT. I am going to do. This is an interesting one, and he's working himself up the world rankings, and I just like the way he plays golf. I'm going to go Sepp Straka.
Oh, okay.
14 right now.
Yep. Sepp Straka.
All right, DJ, you're up. Dead air doesn't work.
Patrick Cantlay.
Really?
PK's guy.
Kind of cooled on him a little bit. I understand he's not the easiest dude to get along with, but nevertheless, I think I'm going to go Russell Henley.
That's the pot calling the kettle black. Not the easiest guy to get along
Understood.
with. Russell Henley.
I know. Yeah. That's why I was on to Cantlay, because he's me. I get it. We're ornery.
He's your clone.
What are you going to do about it? Change me.
Okay. So we outside top 25 now?
Sure.
Yes.
Who you got?
I'm going to do Jordan Spieth.
Spieth from the top row. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Let's see. Is Justin Rose outside the top 25?
I would think he is. Let me look.
Yes. I'm looking at CBSSports.com right now. He's 39.
Perfect.
Okay.
Is that who you
sure.
taking?
Justin Rose. Who did you take, Bob? Who'd you
I took
take?
Spieth.
Spieth. Okay. PK?
I'll go with Thigala.
Say
Oh, I like that pick.
Thigala.
I should have done that. Good work, PK. Good call.
You give me 2 picks for the PGA, and I'll trade you Thigala.
Now we're going to run trades?
Okay. I've got to protect. I've got to have it top 10 protected. They get to the top of the money list.
And that's in
Sorry, Bob. We
2031,
just went
by the way.
NBA on you there.
That's
Yeah,
okay.
right, for 2031. Oh, man. If Thigala wins, I'm really going to regret this. All right. There it is, Bob. There's the draft. I will email it to you, and you can obsess about it every single day.
Oh, I will.
As the leaderboard changes in the distance, you'll be able to hear PK cackling.
Oh, boy.
Thank you, Bob. You're the man.
All right. All right, guys. Have a great time. We'll talk to you again this week later.
And Brian will come on and second guess all our picks tomorrow. It'll be great.
Yes, he will, and that's fine.
Okay. Thanks, Bob. Bob Casper, Real Golf Radio. Join us from the Masters. There is our Masters draft. DJ and PK. It's 97.5 The Zone. The kids, they grow up so fast. Sometimes it only takes 1 year. We'll get to that next. Stay with us.
This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G.
It's what you want.
So I'm trying to get my phone to not call me Hans.
All right, try it again.
Don't call me Hans.
Okay, what should I call you?
Hans.
You'd like me to call you Hats. Is that right?
No. Hans.
You'd like me to call you Pants.
The dumbest thing. What is my name, Google?
Your name is Hans.
God, stupid, dumb thing. Could you call me Hans, Ned?
You'd like me to call you handsome. Is that right?
Well, it's better than Hans, yeah.
Catch Hans and Scotty weekdays from noon to 3 on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Nominate the youth sports volunteer that you know for the Hercules Hero of the Week. You can submit your nomination at kslsports.com/contest and then listen every Thursday afternoon to JJ and Alex for the winner. Help us celebrate the efforts of those volunteers making an impact with the Hercules Hero of the Week, and it's sponsored by Hercules First Federal Credit Union and Beehive Meals.
DJ and PK, it's 97.5 The Zone. The question of the morning after the press conference yesterday. Egor Demin announcing he's leaving BYU after 1 year to go to the NBA. How do you think he will do in the NBA? Your expectations. Kelly says he's very raw. It's going to take a few years for him to be relevant. Well, as long as when he's relevant, he's awesome, that's great. I mean, nobody really expects anybody to win at 20 or 21, but if you're out there destroying people at 24 and 25, it's a great pick.
Yeah. I would submit the question, can he do what Isaiah Collier has done this season?
Well, for starters, we'll have to see if he goes to the team where he's afforded that opportunity.
Right, but I don't necessarily think when I say that correlation with comparison with Isaiah Collier, now since January, Collier's been getting starter minutes, 28 to 32. So we see what he's been able to do. Even if Demin doesn't get 28 to 32 minutes, can he still look like what Collier has done if it's 15 to 18 minutes? So the numbers may not be the double-doubles
right,
and the 10 assists or whatever, but can he equate this type of play that Collier has done? Because then you can judge it a little fairer rather than, well, he didn't receive those types of minutes. Because clearly, if he doesn't get those kinds of minutes, amounts of minutes, he's not going to be able to put up those types of numbers because it's harder. You need more minutes to put up better numbers. That's obvious, right? If he'll play, he'll get on the court, and you don't really look at with Collier. We don't necessarily look at when he was getting the 15 to 17 minutes. We think of him now as getting the 28 to 32 type minutes, right? So with Egor, maybe he doesn't get as many minutes early, but gets, even if it's not 28 to 32, maybe it's in the 20 range by the time we get to January. So does he have the same type of eyeball test and look like, okay, as he grows and progresses, you could see something down the line? That's where I'm going with Collier. Collier, pretty good his rookie season, right? I think we would all agree with that. Does he have to get better? Of course, but he's 20 years old, man. He doesn't turn 21, I think, until the fall. And Egor just turned 19, so it's the same type of age. And with that age comes certain levels of restrictions, unless you're the ultimate LeBron-type superstar. But those guys don't happen very often. Can he have some, even if it's a minimal impact?
I believe he can have a minimal impact. The thing that's going to make the adaptation to the NBA harder for him than Collier, I think, is that Collier just has a thicker, more developed body. So he couldn't be pushed around as easily. He's listed at 6'3", 210. And when you close your eyes and you watch him play, you can just see, like, he's just muscular, right? And it's just harder. And Demin is a little more, he's more Cody. And so is he going to get bullied a little physically that'll make it hard for him to have a really good impact his first year? Get to your second or third year, put on some weight, maybe it looks a little different. I do think as far as the way Collier passes the ball, sees the floor, finds guys, Demin can do that. I think a lot of people jump right to Demin's turnovers, which obviously were a problem at BYU. He did seem to get better with that as the year went along. It was still it was a problem late in the season, but not as routinely. Collier does turn the ball over a fair amount, but man, the Jazz have played so many guys. They've played so many guys. Who knows the offense and how many of those turnovers are really on him. So that would be one thing to watch. I don't think Collier shot it especially well. I think what Kevin Young said yesterday about the floor spacing in the NBA, there's better shooters, and so you can't help as easily, so it tends to open up more driving lanes. Man, how many times did you say, and you were right, PK, how many times did you say, why doesn't Demin just go left, put his head down, and get to the rim? It doesn't really look like when he's determined to do it, there just aren't that many guys in college who can stop him. And I think in the pros, obviously there'll be bigger, stronger defenders, and it won't be as easy. I still think he could do it, and he'll have more space to do it. There won't be as much help. So he can give you a little bit of offensive production there. We'll see what this shoot. You should.
The transition game in the NBA.
Oh, he'll be great at that. Yeah, and the open floor.
Yeah.
Where it's more agility and speed, and his ball handling. I mean, the ball it looks so natural when some players turn the ball over when they're dribbling. Some players turn the ball over when they're passing. I think he turns the ball over when he's passing. Once in a while he dribbles into trouble, but not very often.
I wonder if they will have an emphasis on him to gain more weight. I'm wondering if they think, okay, this is your body type, and because you're as long as you are, maybe you don't need to do that. I'll be interested to see which team takes him and what they say about that and how much they're going to emphasize that and how much do they think that that's something that he needs to do. Now, everyone at 19 years of age can get stronger. That's a fact. And you look at Cody Williams, and he looks so razor thin. I mean, it just looks like he's such a young kid physically. Just take away his from the neck up. I'm just talking about the body. If I put guys and blurred out their faces, and you would say, well, this kid, he must be about 16 years old. Speaking of Cody Williams, I wonder with Egor what that team wants him to do as far as adding some weight and what is his level of strength. Because some guys, obviously Kevin Durant's a classic example, but he's not near the shooter, and so he'll never be a Kevin Durant kind of player. He'll be more of a playmaker. But you wonder if they want him to get stronger, but it's not like the biggest emphasis, whereas with Cody Williams, it clearly is a big emphasis because of the position that Demin will be playing will be different than the slasher-type player that the Jazz hope that Williams can become.
It'll be interesting to see if Demin goes somewhere where he can play the backup point guard minutes and be matched against backups. So guys who aren't as good, maybe guys who are younger, maybe guys who aren't as physically developed, and then really have some success early on. Or does he go to a bad team and he does get the Collier treatment where he gets minutes, he gets force-fed, and sink or swim, and even if you're struggling, hopefully you're learning along the way.
My prediction, and talking to his people, they're saying, talking to him on Monday, they were before when they told me, he's coming out, is that they think 5 to 15. I think it's going to be closer to 5 than it is 15.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Interesting.
There's going to be GMs and the front office folks who think we can't pass on this kid's potential. Knowing that there'll be growing pains.
His ceiling looks high, right? His ceiling looks high. His size, you can't coach his size. You can't coach. And the thing is, there's tall guys, but he seems like, even for his size, he seems long.
Yes.
The way he plays.
Yes, absolutely, man. Yes. And they're going to say, hey, we're going to get him here, and he's going to be with us night and day. And the kid seems serious about ball, right? So it looks like you don't have to worry about him working and all that stuff. And Kevin Young, who has relationships with many folks in the NBA is going to give him a glowing recommendation, and the NBA people are going to feel like, hey, I'm speaking to one of my own here. He knows exactly what we need in the NBA in terms of players in each position, because this is what Kevin has been doing. And that's where I think this idea of Kevin Young, and I know he went off a little bit and he talked about a rant about hypothetical yesterday. I don't know if he was referring to when I had said earlier when they were struggling, I don't want to hear about the NBA stuff. It's winning games at the collegiate level. Okay, well, it is winning games at the collegiate level, but not right now. When you're developing guys for the NBA and the NBA people are talking to you, Kevin is going to tell them, and I believe the NBA people are going to trust Kevin because they're going to believe Kevin is one of their own. So I believe he'll be a top 10 pick. I believe he'll go higher than we anticipate.
The mocks I've told you about, 11, 14, 15, 17, that's all before the interview process. He's going to interview well. We know that here because we've seen him at the microphone. We've seen him talk. We've seen him do the media stuff. So we know how he's going to handle himself. He's going to come off as impressive in those meetings. And we always see in the NBA and in the NFL, when you get to that phase, we see guys start to move up because everybody's drafting on potential, and they will walk away with, okay, this is a mature, serious guy.
No question.
And that will move them up. And someone else will hurt themselves. And it'll be like, I don't know. This guy's a little on the immature side. I don't know if I can count on that. Who is the foreign guy who came out in the Kevin O'Connor era? He was like the poster child. He was super hyped, like Doncic, but he totally whiffed. He was Detroit's pick. Remember who I'm talking about? It's like a second pick in the draft. Yes,
Milicic?
Darko Milicic. And I was told specifically his single biggest problem, he was immature. And it takes maturity to succeed in the NBA, and he didn't have it. And if we're going to give you all this money and multi-years and all that, you got to be mature and serious. And he'll come off as that. So no matter what the mocks say now, he probably gets bumped up a few spots after the interviews because people are going to be impressed. Right. All right, DJ PK, it's 97.5 The Zone. Stay with us. Coming up, top of the hour, we got more for you. DJ and PK, it is 97.5 The Zone. Tim Lacombe will join us. We'll run all this by him. Stay with us.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I present...
This is JJ and Alex.
Speaking of hockey, that win over the Winnipeg Jets, I was just floored. And we're getting these tweets from Sly during the game. Because he got his...
Who had a great time.
Because then he's sending us the Jets suck, text during the middle of the when it was the end of the second period and they're up 3-0. I was like, no, they don't. They're the best team in hockey. And that's the part that makes you feel good about this team. It was such an exceptional game by this team. And it was so fun to watch. Coach Tourney actually told us this at one point during the last couple weeks. He goes, we're a way different team than this team faced a month ago.
Yeah.
Right? And he said it about a couple of times when they would get these wins that people are like, oh, wow, that was unexpected. It's like, no, they're a better team now. They've become a better team over the season. And so it's awesome to see these young guys getting the recognition that they deserve.
Catch JJ and Alex afternoons from 3 to 6. Presented by G2G Bars on 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
DJ and PK. It's a Win Tickets Wednesday. Caller 12 right now, 801-575-ZONE, 801-575-9663. Wins a pair of tickets to see the County Crows in the Complete Suites Tour with the Gaslight Anthem, August 21st, Utah First Credit Union Amphitheater. There you go. Go get them, people.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Oh, those days in the Vegas Bowl. Will you ever match them?
The Vegas Bowl. Yeah, I think that I rode the elevator with the Counting Crows singer, who is a big Cal fan. And then later on, when I don't know it was the same day, but it was one of the trips for the Vegas Bowl, I rode an elevator with Sinbad.
And didn't you see David Hasselhoff at the Las Vegas Bowl?
Oh, well, I think he did the national anthem. So,
yeah,
he came through the press box with his entourage, whoever was with him. But everybody saw him. It wasn't with Duritz, the singer of Counting Crows. It was just the two of us. And then with Sinbad, it was just the two of us. and then Hasselhoff came through where they have this is the old Sam Boyd Stadium so that level was like the suite level basically, and he walked through the press box, but everybody saw him there.
We got a lot of people weighing in on the new ballpark. The Bees opened their new stadium, and Scott's concerned we went from 15,000 seats to 8,000. Well, I think you had 15,000 capacity at Old Place, but I think you only had 12,000 seats. PK, this is all we got to let this settle out here. They've got a new location, and they've got a new size, but that's all built with Major League Baseball in mind. The confidence level that we're going to get Major League Baseball here among the people who are trying to make it happen is very high. So they built this stadium with that in mind, living in an ecosystem where there's Major League Baseball a short drive away.
That's going to be weird unto itself to have a minor league and major league in the same city separated by 20 miles or so. You don't see that.
No, usually you're separated by like an hour, Tacoma to Seattle and Colorado Springs to Denver. You see that, but the 20 minutes, to be inside a half an hour, that is unusual.
Or they get out of it. Because I don't think Colorado, their AAA's in Colorado Springs. I think it's in Albuquerque.
Yeah, I think Albuquerque's their AAA.
Yeah. And like Phoenix was, the Diamondbacks were in Tucson, but now they're in Reno. That's the team that went up against the the Bees last night, and obviously their first series. And I know for me, the Phoenix Giants when I was a kid. That's one of the reasons I was somewhat of a Giants fan, because I knew all those guys that came through were in Phoenix, but now they don't have minor league ball anymore. They've just got the Diamondbacks, obviously. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out when it does, because I think it is a when, not an if.
And the secondary ticket market is there. For those of you who had a little sticker shock when you saw that, check out the secondary market. And, of course, it's a little more expensive than it appears because there's fees to be added onto that. But nonetheless, sounds like it'd be a little better deal. So that'll probably shake out over time as well. DJ PK, when we come back, we are talking NBA playoffs and NBA draft and Egor Demin next. And we'll do that with Tim Lacombe. He'll join us in a moment right here on The Zone.